Here's what most companies are missing about AI right now. I've led teams of hundreds through technology shifts. The technology is never the hard part. The real unlock isn't about hiring more developers. It's about discovering the systems thinkers already sitting inside your organization. People who've been solving complex problems without code for years. Agentic AI doesn't replace them. It finally gives them the tools to build what they've been picturing in their heads all along. Ask yourself this: do you actually know what the person sitting next to you is capable of? We see job titles. We miss potential. We've organized entire companies around what people did yesterday, not what they could do tomorrow. The most valuable skill in your organization might be locked inside someone who's never written a line of code, because we never gave them a way to build what they see. I have a friend who spent his entire career in procurement and supply chain. Not a line of code, not a computer science class, the operational side of the business that keeps things running, but rarely gets called visionary. I visited him recently. He'd built a workspace, Mac Mini, dual screens, pure focus. He was sitting there monitoring a deeply complex system he'd architected himself, adjusting it in real time. That setup would have been impossible for him 2 years ago. Today is just Tuesday. A few weeks before I saw that workspace, I'd given him the same advice I give everyone. Pick something small, build it with AI, see what happens. My conversion rate on that pitch is maybe 1 in 10. Most people nod politely and back away slowly. He didn't. He went home and actually did it. That's the difference. Not capability, not access, just willingness to find out what you didn't know you could do. But this AI engineer built his own Jarvis in 3 weeks, no code background. Here's what he built in 3 weeks. His own Jarvis system. Not a toy, not a demo, a real working platform he applied to 3 completely different parts of his life. First, home automation. He lives in the desert, so he wired it into his water filtration system and lighting. Full control. Second, writing. He connected it to a book project. The system helps him structure and manage the work. Third, his day job. He's building supply chain models now, the kind that used to take teams of developers, pulling from decades of knowing exactly where systems connect and where they break. 1 underlying platform. 3 unrelated problems: water heaters, novels, and corporate logistics. The versatility isn't the impressive part. It's that he saw the pattern before most organizations did. He didn't take a boot camp, he just started building. The striking part wasn't the technical achievement, though that was real. It was watching his organizational instincts translate directly into architecture, his comfort with process, his ability to see how systems connect. All of that was already there. The AI didn't inject technical thinking into his brain. It revealed it. Within weeks, his management team was pulling him aside. Wait, who are you? And how do we get you doing more of this? That's the paradigm shift. We're completely redefining what talent looks like. This one moment points to something larger. For decades, we've defined technical capability by credentials. You know the drill. Computer science degree, IT job title, years writing code. That narrow lens has caused us to completely miss an enormous pool of hidden technical talent. I'm talking about the people quietly sitting in procurement, operations, admin, customer support. They've spent years untangling complex operational problems. They just never had a mechanism to express that thinking in code. It's wild how long we've been getting this wrong. We've been looking for the credential instead of the mind. Here's the real barrier. It was never intelligence. It was activation energy. To build a software solution the old way, you had to learn how to code. That's years of study, expensive, time-consuming. The gulf between I see the solution and I can build the solution kept brilliant operational minds on the sidelines for decades. Not because they couldn't think in systems, because the tooling demanded a credential they didn't have. Here's the shift. That barrier is collapsing. The activation energy required to go from idea to working system is now low enough that someone with strong instincts and 3 focused weeks can actually build something real. When that happens, something flips. They stop seeing their work as fixed and start seeing it as a system they can reshape. That's exactly the kind of employee you want. Most companies still don't see them. They're looking at resumes while the talent is already in the building. Here's a pattern I've seen in regulated industries. Transformative technology never arrives fully formed. The gyroscope was invented in the early 1800s, started as a children's toy, sat in university cabinets as a physics curiosity. The principle worked perfectly from day one. It just had nowhere to go. It waited decades for aviation to need flight stability. then space travel, then smartphones. The technology was never the constraint. The constraint was context. That's where we are with agentic AI and organizational talent. The capability is already here. We're just waiting for leaders to notice who's been sitting in the building all along. The gyroscope's core principle never needed an upgrade. It just waited for a world that required what it could naturally do. The world had to grow into it. The extraordinary systems thinkers in your non-technical departments have been waiting like that gyroscope, fully functional, just lacking the right application. That administrator with engineering instincts. That operations manager who intuitively understands complex networks. They weren't broken, they didn't need development or upskilling. They were waiting for an instrument that actually required their capabilities. Agentic AI is that instrument. So the question becomes, how do we build the sandbox where they can start using it? We're staring down a massive education gap. This kind of AI fluency isn't being taught at scale yet. And even if every university started tomorrow, it's a decade before those graduates enter the workforce. Your business cannot wait 10 years for the talent pipeline to catch up. This is on you. You have to close the gap internally with the people already in the building. The ones who've been thinking in systems for years, they just never had permission to build. The answer isn't out there. It's already on your org chart. A quick word of caution. Yes, you need security. Yes, you need governance. Obviously. But if you strangle the discovery phase with bureaucratic red tape before people even know what's possible to build, you will kill the exact activation energy we just talked about. The instinct to protect the system is strong. I get it. I've built security for environments under constant attack. But over-governing exploration is how you ensure nothing gets explored. You can't discover hidden talent inside a compliance checklist. So what do you do instead? You build a sandbox. Think of it like a university lab. Education for the sake of discovery. You provide the approved tools. You set strict data boundaries so nothing breaks. But within those walls, you give your people pure, unadulterated freedom to follow their curiosity. You have to give them permission to build badly at first. And trust me, the first few attempts will be pretty bad. That's how they eventually learn to build well. The mindset here is critical. Push individual experimentation. Let people follow what genuinely interests them. And whatever you do, don't measure early discovery against strict ROI or rigid business cases. The honest truth? We don't fully know what an AI-capable workforce will even need tomorrow. The investment you're making isn't in software. It's in revealing individual capability, making sure your organization is agile enough to respond to whatever comes next. Which brings us to the 3-week challenge. Your organization is full of people exactly like my friend in procurement. They're everywhere. As a leader, if you give them the right sandbox, hand them the approved tools, and set clear boundaries, they will absolutely use these technologies to express the incredible organizational instincts they've possessed all along. They just needed the medium to show you what they can do. The ultimate systems thinkers are sitting quietly in your office right now, maybe one desk over. They're ready to build. So the only question left is, will you give them 3 weeks to find out? By the time most people figure this out, it'll be too late. Follow for more.